Okay, so again, this has physical characteristics. It's not a huge skull because this was a young person. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, only 17. So it's not probably what, 13 years old or something. But it has the classic features. The back of the skull is rounded, so you're not going to achieve that with cranial deformation. Cranial deformation flattens the front and the back. And then it has this protuberance here, which is also not part of cranial deformation. So this is a characteristic of a natural Paracas elongated skull. Then we have this suture, which is quite obvious. And this suture, which is supposed to be there in all of us, does not exist. If it had fused, there would be a raised area, there'd be a raised ridge, but it's not there whatsoever. And then these are the two holes in the back of the skull, and these are similar. They're called foramen, and we have them here. It's in the lower part of your jaw, and that is for feeding nerve and blood flow. So this is a genetic characteristic as the result of the fact that this person was born with this shape of skull. And as well, like I said, these little bones here, we don't have these little bones. Only the Inca are supposed to have them. So there's a good likelihood that when the Nazca people invaded about 100 AD, that they tried to exterminate the royal Paracas people, but some escaped, and they took an ancient road that goes from Paracas directly to Cusco. Oh, also. Okay, here's the foramen magnum. Now in us, it's located here. With the Paracas, it's 2.5 centimeters back, so that's a genetic characteristic. You can't achieve that with head binding because you would choke the person within 30 seconds. So that characteristic by itself is telling you that this is not Homo sapiens sapiens. So the fact that it's not fused is another genetic anomaly. And then again here, you see that the foramen magnum is as far back as possible. If it was to be farther back, it would be outside of the skull. So this again tells us that that genetic anomaly by itself means that also the foramen magnum is quite a bit smaller than a normal human. And so the medical doctors who have looked at this and the fact that the hole is narrower in diameter would mean that they have longer necks than normal, like thinner and longer necks, which means their whole mode of motion would be different. And then this is a normal baby human who died prior to the Fontenelle closing. So this means this individual died probably somewhere around 1 year old. And actually it has this suture line coming down here too. And then we have this one. So you see this one is very different, subtly quite different from a normal human being. The eye socket is not round, which is indicative of a normal human female, and it's not angular, which would be indicative of a normal human male. It's actually angled back this way. And it has these very strange protuberances coming out of the front of its face, and no evidence of ever having had teeth. So if this was a human being, this would be in the region of 16 months to 2 years old. And it also, yeah, so this is very anomalous. And the sinuses are very different too if you compare with the normal human. Very narrow and not totally developed. And if you look on the inside, the sinuses do not continuously go back. They start out with this very strange oblong shape, and then inside there's only a narrow little circle. So doctors who've looked at this have no idea what it is. And Senior Juan, it was his belief that this is an alien-human hybrid,